It's rooted in the community, and American Eagle customers are greeted by name and treated with the respect that they deserve. American Eagle has an innovative program, Eagle Savings, that teaches your children to save while earning prizes and rewards. American Eagle offers great rates on certificates of deposit. My bank is located in South Elgin on Randall Road between the Target and Caputo's and is open Monday through Saturday. Give them a call at 847-742-7400, and a real person will answer the phone. American Eagle Bank, a place where you matter.
Here's the deal. We gotta set ourselves up. See, retirement is the long game. We gotta make moves and make them early. Set up goals. Don't worry about a setback. Just save up and stack up to reach them. Let's put ourselves in the right position. Pre-game to greater things.
Start building your retirement plan at thisispretirement.org. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
What's the best way to get rid of a timeshare that you don't want? Call the Timeshare Exit Hotline. We're a group of attorneys that help customers legally exit their timeshares. It's an easy process. We guarantee results or you pay nothing. Exit your timeshare today. Call now.
800-890-5957. 800-890-5957. That's 800-890-5957.
As the 2025 tax season unfolds, the Better Business Bureau is warning the public about the various schemes that con artists will employ in the coming weeks to steal your money, personal identity information, and peace of mind. According to the Internal Revenue Service, taxpayers lost $5.5 billion due to tax scams and fraud in 2023. This year, the tax filing deadline is the traditional April 15th. So here are some important tax time tips. Check out businesses before you hire them. The best way to avoid tax ID theft is to file your taxes as early as possible. Check out websites carefully and make sure you access the actual IRS website when filing your taxes electronically. Be wary of tax preparer offering fast refunds or large returns. If you get a written notice from the IRS about a duplicate tax return or any notice that additional taxes are owned, contact the IRS immediately. Don't give out your social security number unless you are 100% sure you are dealing with someone you trust. A message from the Better Business Bureau and your friends here at WRMN. Visit their website at bbb.org.
Welcome back to a political talk show here on WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green, but I am joined with City Council member Corey Dixon. Thank you very much, sir, for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me again. I appreciate it. Good time here.
Yeah, if anybody wants to listen to your candidate interview, it's right there on YouTube where people are watching live right now. There is an entire playlist that has all of the consolidated election discussions that we had on a few candidates here and there, and also the tax referendum that is coming up as well. But let's talk a little bit about the future of Elgin, because
my favorite.
Exactly, because there's so many different projects that are in, and it's a torch that you have to hand for each council.
Right.
And regardless of the makeup or anything else, you got to make sure that the projects, that's the 5-10 year projects, are handed to the next people that can actually pull this together. Exactly.
Yeah.
Which projects are you looking to kind of be finished in this next council?
Yeah. I'll let me say this first. Like, an election season is an election season, right? Like, everyone's jockeying for position. You know, everyone wants to make sure that their platform gets out, that people know who they are. But what I can always appreciate about our Elgin City Council and our city staff is that once that election is over, like, you're a team now, and you got to get some stuff done, right? So I believe that, like, this next iteration of our city council is going to probably be our most important yet, because of the stuff that we have going on and coming up. So number one is the lead pipe issue. This next city council, and mayor, right, have to expedite this as much as we possibly can. So that means that all of the funds that we have available, we have to throw at this thing. We have to go after more federal funding for that, which is drying up, unfortunately, in a lot of different ways. So federal funding and then also state funding so that we can do this as quickly as possible. Now, we've done a great job so far, don't get me wrong, right? But the issue with our lead pipes is massive, you know? And for those who are interested in it, because some people who may be listening to this are like, oh, I don't have a lead pipe issue. Well, a good majority of the city does. You may live on the far west side and you may not have those issues, but a good majority of this community does, and a good majority of a good portion of the vulnerable community in our city does. So with that being said, like, you know, that's probably the number one project that's going to overlap with all the other projects that we have going on.
And the haste is because the funding is drying out, and that's why the haste is done now.
Well, the haste is because we have lead pipes, you know,
fair enough.
So it's not even about like the money is drying up, so we have to do it as quickly as possible before the money is gone. That is absolutely a part of it. But if there was no money there, like, we still would have to be as hasty as we possibly could in getting that done. Because that affects people. It affects children. It affects just so much going on our education system. And so we you know, there's just no way around that, right? So I would say that's the most immediate project that we have to get done. That's a public health concern, of course. And then we have fun projects, you know, that are coming up, right? Like, we just finished the DuPage Court. Well, we got a little bit more to do, but we've pretty much have wrapped it up. We have a new apartment building going in down there, too, as well. We have the new development that's going to be happening down by the library, too. And to me, like, that's going to help transform our downtown even more. It's like an extension of our downtown. So I'm really looking forward to that. And we have some ideas out there, and there's a lot of options have been given to the community for feedback into that project. So that's going to be just very pivotal in our next few years in development.
And that project will be decided by this council here of what it's going to be, whether it's a community garden, a skate park, another theater, all kinds of different
ultimately, I mean, we'll, you know, that city council, you know, and I hope that, you know, I'm a part of that city council. Make sure you go and vote for me on April 1st, of course, or today rather. But yeah, that council is going to be the one making that decision ultimately. But there still will be future opportunities for the community to give their feedback, and to decide what they want. And so, all of that feedback is taken, and then, you know, the city council will be making that decision on what we're ultimately going to do. And it's a balance too, because you can't get everything that you want, right? All the bells and the whistles come with a hefty price tag. But thankfully, financially, as a city, and I call myself a, you know, financial conservative and, you know, social liberal, you know, but financially, we've been doing really, really well. You know, our bond rating, AAA bond rating, is like awesome. So if we need to borrow money, if we need to do any magician type things with money, we have the money to do the things that we need to do, or we can get it. And so, you know, so hats off to our city manager and and Deb Naraki, who's our director over there in finance, for just continuing to do an excellent job over the years financially. And so, so I'm not worried financially about getting any of these projects done. Money isn't finite, of course, but, you know, I think that we're doing a lot of the good things that we need to do to make sure that we stay in a good position while we're getting these projects completed.
Where can people find more about you and your candidacy? I just got a couple more seconds left.
Sure. You can go to CoreyForElgin.com, and that's 4FOR, CoreyForElgin.com. You can go to social media, all of them, you know, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah.
Thanks for being on, Corey. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Welcome anytime, whether or not you make it or not, but good luck to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. This is Steve Thorne, running for re-election to the Elgin City Council. So many of you already know me, and you know that my many years of volunteer work and ongoing service are all about helping the residents of our great city, especially our seniors and military veterans. We certainly have had our challenges, past and present, but Elgin owns my heart, and it always has. We are a strong city, a safe city, a city of neighborhoods, a city where people feel the touch of community connection. And that's part of our greatest strength. We look out for one another here in Elgin. And as your city councilman, I pledge to look out for you. I've been endorsed by both the Elgin Police and Firefighters Unions. I'm respectfully asking for your vote to continue serving you on the Elgin City Council. Paid for by Friends of Steve Thorne.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 5 o'clock.
This is WRMN News.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. A powerful earthquake followed by a strong aftershock has rocked Thailand and neighboring Myanmar. News Nation's Nick Smith reports so far at least 3 people have been killed while others remain trapped in the rubble.
The first quake, a 7.7 magnitude, struck Myanmar in the city of Mandalay. That's a religious and cultural capital. Then 12 minutes later, a 6.4 magnitude quake hit just a few miles away. The shocks have been felt as far away as southwest China, and there is extensive damage in Myanmar right now. But we're having trouble getting updates from there since the military force controls nearly all forms of communication.
Amateur video shows buildings shaking and collapsing. Myanmar's military-run government declared a state of emergency in 6 regions and states, including the capital, Naypyidaw, and Mandalay. We could soon see some fallout from the Signal group chat scandal that's been dogging the Trump administration. News Nation's Libby Dean has the latest.
CBS News is reporting that the president may fire National Security Advisor Mike Waltz or Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth if the story continues to make headlines as it has all week. Now, this week, we saw a lot of things play out. We saw congressional hearings, court challenges, and ultimately the release of nearly all of these messages, but including in this group chat, ones like this from Pete Hegseth, which included operational details. Now, the Trump administration and Trump intelligence officials claim that these were not classified details from Pete Hegseth. That's been the big back and forth here.
The chat was discussing a military operation in Yemen. A reporter from The Atlantic was apparently inadvertently added to the chat and broke the story.
WRMN News, produced in Studio 14 by the River Media Network.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
This is Linda Rock sharing stories that were in Elgin newspapers on March 31st, 1925. More persons were arrested for being intoxicated during the month of March than any month in the city's history, according to the monthly report of Magistrate George R. Thompson, submitted today. A total of 24 men faced intoxication charges, figures reveal. According to the police magistrate, cases which appear before him now show men to be crazy drunk rather than merely drunk. Phone for food. That's the newest slogan in commercial Elgin today. Last night it was adopted by local service grocery store proprietors and managers, about 75 of whom met at Nelson Hall on Chicago Street for the purpose of learning how to boost their business and give their patrons better service through the medium of the telephone. Soon every package of groceries delivered at your home will have sticker stamps urging you to phone for food. It is planned to make this slogan as widely known a slogan as Say It With Flowers, as it became a few years ago. The Goodfellow Club of the Watch Factory is staging a benefit dance and entertainment at the Watch Factory Gymnasium this evening. Proceeds of the affair will be presented to a crippled widow with 2 small children. An elaborate entertainment has been arranged, including boxing and wrestling exhibitions, a comedy wrestling match, and a dance party.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You may also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.org.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. This afternoon, sunny with a high near 45. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 28. Temperatures rising to around 30 overnight. Tomorrow, a slight chance of rain showers after 4 p.m. Partly sunny with a high near 44. Currently, it is 43 with mainly clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Okay, raise your hand if you want to make your life a little bit easier. Great. Now raise your other hand if you like to be comfortable. Perfect. Now that you have both hands raised, imagine putting on your shoes. And that, folks, right there is your answer to an easier, more comfortable life. Go hands-free with Skechers Slip-ins. This is footwear you don't need your hands to put on. They can be raised in the air, and you can just step it and go. Why don't you experience what people can't stop talking about? Life-changing Skechers Slip-ins. Get your Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Clutter happens, but junk doesn't have to weigh you down. At the Junk Luggers, we're your full-service junk removal and hauling pros, tackling everything from single-item pickups to major cleanouts. We handle the heavy lifting, and with our commitment to the green way, we rehome and recycle to keep your unwanted items out of landfills. So, whether you're clearing out the garage, downsizing, or saying goodbye to old furniture, we make the process eco-friendly and easy. Call 1-800-LUG-JUNK or visit junkluggers.com today. Let's save your space and the planet together.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. Call 800-335-2299. That's 800-335-2299.
Fellow Americans, and good day to our friends around the world. This is Apolitical Talk Show. This is the second hour of Apolitical Talk Show. If you missed the first little bit, make sure you go over to YouTube. You'll be able to watch everything on there as well. We're going to continue our talk about the local consolidated election, and we're going to focus on Kane County, particularly the Elgin Township. We now have on another incumbent. We have Ken Brutally, a candidate running for Elgin Township Supervisor in Kane County in the general election scheduled for tomorrow. He currently serves as the Township Supervisor, a role that designates him as Chief Executive Officer responsible for managing financial affairs, coordinating township programs, and overseeing day-to-day operations. Thank you very much, Ken, for being here with us today. Appreciate it.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
It is a big job being the township supervisor and then also seeking re-elections. I haven't gotten a chance to talk with you yet, but what are you the most proud of with your tenure?
Wow. Well,
right off the bat.
Right off the bat, I'm most proud that the people elected me to do it in the first place. That was very humbling. And then I felt I had a commitment so I wouldn't let anybody down. So I gave it 110% and tried to do the very best I could. At the end of the day, at the end of the term, I didn't want to squander the opportunity to give back to the community. So that motivated me to work many hours.
Is part of the election cycle of, okay, you have this finite amount of time that's guaranteed. Is that kind of like a motivation to kind of get up and get things moving quickly because you only have that time? Like
Yes.
the election's not guaranteed. You'd like it, but do you usually get to work right on day one when you have a short tenure like this?
Sure. So that's an excellent question. Like, you never, if you want to get something done, put a deadline on it. So yes, it's a 4-year term, and one cannot do any duties of the office without first being taking the oath. And so what this is what most people do not know about, but Jason Krabby, the highway commissioner, and I, like at midnight of the day that we're supposed to start our term, we got sworn in the highway road district. No audience, nobody there, but we took the oath, and that way I was able to hit the ground, and he and I were able to hit the ground running. So the ceremonial ceremony of swearing in was later in that night. But that would mean, I mean, I had a whole extra day to work.
Get in there early, right? Get the keys handed over.
Yes.
Since you have had a background in real estate, how has that kind of helped you kind of navigate the geography of Kane County?
Yeah, thank you. It's been an unbelievable asset. I say I know every nick and cranny and every corner of the township. Just to be clear, Elgin Township covers most of the city of Elgin, but not all of it. Most of the village is South Elgin, but not all of it. And of course, the unincorporated areas of Elgin. In those areas, I'm like the mayor. So the supervisor is the mayor of the unincorporated areas. And there's a little sliver of Bartlett that, they don't even know they're Elgin Township. So it's helped me greatly because being an ear to the pavement, I listen to the concerns of the people that live in our community, live in Elgin Township, and I'm able to understand what their concerns are and immediately address their needs. What I'm most proud of, secondly, to answer the first question, is the senior access pass. And that's something I came up with because there was a lot of lip service on, we want to help people age in place. We want to help people not isolate and get out in community. But then there were so many barriers to prevent seniors from doing that. And so that that's for people who live in Elgin Township. So just for fun, like somebody would come in and we verify their residency. And I don't want to sound like bragging or anything, but it's just kind of cute because somebody would walk in and go, "Oh, I'm on such and such a street," and I'd be, "Oh, are you in a tri-level?" And the staff would be, "How do you know that?" Or they'd be like, "Hey, I live here," and I'm like, "Ooh, you're not in Elgin Township." But let's double check just to be sure. You know the
actual shaded area.
Yeah, that's the real estate background.
That's good, but you're able to kind of, I guess, see a little bit of how the hot spots of the county are, or the township are, because you're able to see, okay, there's more foot traffic here, but there's more a car traffic over here, but there's no way to connect the two. Is that kind of how the senior pass kind of came about when you were talking about living in place, where kind of mobility and things like that is knowing the geography help you a little bit more with coordinating people?
Well, all of us, and most of us, have a fixed income. It's not infinite. So we would have to pick and choose how we're going to spend our discretionary income. And so as nice as it would be to, maybe go to an activity, if it costs money, maybe I'll do this once every few months versus every day. So,
no, absolutely.
So the Senior Access Pass with our partners allows the seniors to participate with no fee to them.
That's really good. You can actually get them in the community.
And we remove the barriers, and I call it the excuses.
The excuses,
but they're real. They're real
It's cold outside. I may not have a ride, that kind of thing.
Or like, hey, this is going to cost us $20 each, so maybe we can only go to 3 of those. Wow. If it doesn't cost us anything, we can go to everything if we want to.
Yeah.
And then when they do that, then they're in community, they're meeting new friends, they're socializing, and we're humans. We need other people.
And speaking of being out in the community side of it too, you said you had some volunteers for assistance with the with anybody who's looking to vote tomorrow.
Oh, for voting. So we have a beautiful community. This community steps up. We know that from different things we've been involved with. And people have asked me, if anybody needs a ride, call me, I'll drive. So I was like, well, if anybody asks me, I'll tell them about you. And that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there are a thing called mail-in ballots now. So many of those people who maybe want to take advantage of that, you know, they've asked for a mail-in ballot, but other people like to bring their mail-in ballot to the polls, surrender it, and vote in person. It just depends on, you know, how they feel.
Where do you draw your township volunteers from? Are there just people that just raise their hand or knock on your door, or are there like colleges, universities, or places that you kind of fish for volunteers?
Well, now you're looking at like internship stuff, but the volunteers just kind of step up. They're like, hey, we're here to help. If you need us, we'd love to help you. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
I kind of duly note it, you know, not in a negative way, but in a positive way. And then when an opportunity comes up, they follow through, like delivering the food, you know, with the Lexington. Those are all volunteers now. You know, I did it the first week or so just so I could make sure I understood what the people were going to volunteer for. But they just step up and they do it, and it's beautiful.
And how is that helping, or I guess under your jurisdiction for it? Is that something that you're working with the city, or is that a whole different project that's just for the township?
No, that actually is a city. Jen was the coordinator of that, and we have good relationships, you know, ongoing and communication. And she said, well, I got this all figured out except for one thing. How am I going to move them from A to B? And I'm like, well, we can help. So that it was just having the communication open to talking about what they're trying to do. And I do the same thing. I talk with the city and the village of what we're trying to do.
Linda comes in and says, Ken, I am proud to wave your flags in my yard. Love what you have done to help seniors.
Well, thank you, Linda.
You got some fans out there, Ken. And then what we'll do when we come back from break is we'll talk a little bit more about what else is on the ballot and where people can actually go in Kane County, where you can actually go and vote and register at the same time, and everything that you're going to need for that. So you're listening to A Political Talk Show here on WRMN. We'll be right back after this.
PTSD, an eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem. If it's causing problems at work or with your family, get help now at Insight Mental Health and Wellness. We can help and treat all types of depression and mental issues. We'll help you use your insurance to get away from it all to a beautiful, sunny, and tranquil vacation-like environment so you can recharge yourself. And with a Family Medical Leave Act, you could take the time off you need from work. Plus, with the Affordable Care Act, your treatment could be 100% covered if you're suffering from any kind of anxiety, depression, PTSD, eating disorder, or even a substance abuse problem. Use your insurance and get away from it all. Come to sunny California. Call Insight Mental Health and Wellness now. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. 800-419-0287. That's 800-419-0287.
Want to know what the shepherds did after they visited the Christ child? To read the short novel, The Good Shepherds, a Christmas combat story by Michael Tooman. Available on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle editions. Check out Michael Tooman's webpage at Scilink.net. That is PSYLINK.net. Papa Sierra Yankee, Lima India November Kilo. November Echo Tango.
Are you looking to buy, sell, or trade something? Maybe clean out that attic or basement, or just make a little extra cash? Then don't miss Tradio on Out to Lunch with WRMN AM 1410. Weekdays at 12:30 p.m. Call in to let folks in the Fox River Valley know what you're looking for or what you've got to get rid of. It's easy, it's free, and it's a great way to connect with your community. Call in at 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. If it's got to go, then let us know. Only on Tradio, here on WRMN AM 1410.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
We are AFGE, the American Federation of Government Employees. We represent 700,000 federal and D.C. government workers who are the vital threads of the fabric of American life. We support our nation's military. We take care of our nation's veterans. We protect our nation's borders. We respond to our nation's crises and natural disasters. We provide services to our nation's seniors. The American Federation of Government Employees. We work for America.
Hello and welcome back to a political talk show here on WRMN. My name is Dennis Sonar Green. I am joined with Township Supervisor of Elgin, Ken Brutally. Thank you very much for being here, Ken.
Thank you for having me.
Lots of excitement that's happening around the election. We are going to be having the consolidated election in Kane County. Lots of other places have consolidated elections too, but I don't live in those other places. So let's talk about Kane County's election. There's a plethora of different things based off of where you live. Here in Elgin, or at least the township of Elgin, we're looking at a few members of the education board. We're looking at, I think, one member of the library board, and then we've got here in Elgin, we've got an entire city council that we're also voting for as well. We get 4 candidates out of, I think, the 8 with a write-in that we're sitting at right now. Right. How do I choose? How do I choose?
This is important. The consolidated election, you may know, or may or may not know, the people you put in this local level will affect your life more than anything, like what's going on in the White House or what's going on in Washington has nothing to do with the people you choose here to run your community. And it's called a consolidated election. It's all nonpartisan, except for the township race for some reason. So what does that mean? The township, you have to pick a party. So you have Republican Party, which I'm on, and you have the Democratic Party, which my opponent is on. And the risk of that is some voters find that helpful. However, the risk for the local level, like why is it the city council, the school board, the library board, the ECC board, they're nonpartisan. So the people should pick who they think is going to be best for our community. And when it's partisan, like the township is, the risk could be one party or the other could make it political. And they could say, well, I don't care if this guy is the best guy since sliced bread. Let's put our party in there. And that's kind of like, well, wait a minute. You live here. Yeah. You want to look at someone who's going to help make your community a better place. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I don't think party necessarily is as important as policy at the local level? Because I met a lot of people that said I had to attach myself to that party because it was the only way to even get on the ballot.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of people that I've talked with that are more traditional conservatives versus I've talked to some more of the Democratic side, and they are on the far side of the liberal side. Or there's a whole plethora of people, and that D or that R next to them is really, I don't know, I would say a light color at that. Like you got a sky blue or a pink really is what you're looking at, because
they don't have that in any of the races, only the township.
Exactly, because you get this whole up and down ballot side for everything. I think having a bit of time to actually sit down and talk with the local side of it too. How have you made yourself accessible through this election season and candidacy? Did you go out to town meetings? Did you go to just local gatherings for things? What was your grassroots strategy with this?
Well, being where the people are, I had the opportunity I had 4 years of cultivating relationships with the city, the village, our agencies, our nonprofits, our service clubs, and our residents. And my business card's been outside my door. And if you come to the township, I'll make time. I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll talk to the residents, because that's who I work for.
Mm-hmm.
The people that, whether you voted for me or not, you're a priority. There's people that don't even vote. It's such a low turnout election, but your needs are important to me. We put sidewalks in. For the unincorporated area about a year or 2 years ago, we got rid of the city stickers for yard waste and refuge, because nobody likes those things. And now I see Elgin cities doing it now too for yard waste, so that's a good thing.
Commander Mark Smith comes in and says, re-elect Ken Brodely for Elgin Township Supervisor. 150% proven as the best person for the job and township.
Well, thank you.
That's some good stuff coming in from the commander. Let's get a caller real quick before we hit the break. Hello, caller. You're speaking with Dennis Sonar Green and Ken Brodely. How are you?
Dennis Sonar Green, this is George Rollinson. How are you?
I'm doing great, George. You got a message or something you want to ask Ken here?
I do. Something really quick.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm a lifelong Democrat. I voted for more Democratic candidates than any 10 people you know. I was a Democratic precinct captain in the city of Chicago, and I support Ken Brodely 100%. Wow. I don't care what his party affiliation is. I've been around Elgin for 30 years, Sonar, and I've seen a lot of township supervisors come and go. No one has had the impact that Ken Brodely has had. Wow. He's a good man, a very good man, doing very good things in the community. He's got a great work ethic. He really is the total package. So good luck, Ken. But I did have a question for you.
Well,
Answer now or later. There are a lot of early votes and mail-in ballots this year, much more than in 2021. What do you attribute it to?
Well, it's a good question. I don't know how to answer that, except.
And I don't want to put you on the spot.
Well, I think it's the way it's the new world, I guess, the brave new world. I mean, things change.
And I think the law to automatically sign people up, I think, as well, helped.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, Dennis, I think I saw, as of 3 days ago, there were 25,000 mail-in ballots and early votes in King County. Mm-hmm. It's just King County. So it's a really significant jump from the last election. Maybe it's the referendum. Maybe that has something to do with it. Maybe people are engaged because of that referendum. Either way, good or bad, yes or no.
Yeah, I could see it also coming hot off of a national election, too. That's still in everybody's minds. I don't think we're allowed to forget about it, George.
Yes, well, good point. Anyway, Ken, good luck tomorrow.
Well, George, I just want to say something. Thank you for the accolades and thank you for the endorsement. However, I heard that you have your own challenges right now. If that's true, I want to send out everybody listening to pray for you and keep you in your thoughts that you get well.
No fear. I'm a warrior. I'll be fine. Whatever these medical challenges are, I'll get through them. So thank you, though, Ken. But thank you, and I appreciate your sincerity, and I appreciate your concern.
Thank you. Thank you for calling.
Okay. Well, I hope I'm one of the first people to call you Wednesday with congratulations.
We'll find out, right?
Thank you, George.
There you go. Bye-bye.
Bye.
What a nice man.
Absolutely. Like I said to you when we first started talking there, Ken, every time I talk to somebody and your name comes up, not a hot word out there, ready to go, integral, I think is what I heard for a few things here or there.
Thank you.
But I appreciate you being here. If you got time, we stick around for just a little bit longer on it. I'm going to talk a little bit about where you can go to find some of these election day voting places. You can always go to the Gail Borden Library as well. And just a place where you can get a bit more information to make sure you're prepared for voting day in case you haven't already done it. Like some of us procrastinate, Ken. It's just the way it goes.
And there's a lot of people have not voted yet.
Yep. We'll get there and we'll make sure that you're informed with it too. Come back after this.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan. Brought to you by Prevnar. Kane County's transportation sector recently garnered major accolades as the Division of Transportation received the top honors from APWA's Chicago Metro chapter for the Longmeadow Parkway project. Adding to the success, Deputy Director Thomas Rickert awarded the APWA Professional Manager of the Year for 2025. In a major development, the Elgin Police Department has positively identified the skeletal remains of Karen Sheppers, who disappeared in 1983 after recovering her vehicle from the Fox River. The Cold Cases Unit's recent focus and technological advances alongside efforts from Chaos Divers and various local authorities led to the breakthrough. Expansion plans are underway at Kenyon Woods Middle School in South Elgin as a school district U46 recently commenced construction on a 46,000 square foot addition. The $30 million project will enable the school to accommodate up to 1,100 students. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
When you switch to Progressive, you could save bundling your home and auto. Then you could put that money towards some of the surprisingly more expensive things in life.
Attention passengers, we've reached 10,000 feet and internet is now available for purchase.
I just paid hundreds for this flight and you can't even throw in internet? I'll just take the free pretzels.
Sorry, but I do have snack boxes for sale.
I'm just gonna sleep.
In that case, we are selling pillows and blankets as well.
I'll just breathe. That's free, right?
Life costs a lot, so bundle and you could save with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
In this next Elgin City Council election, you'll have a choice to make, not just between political philosophies or even the candidates on the ballot. Your choice involves supporting someone who has always been there for Elgin, who has always been there for you as a longtime community volunteer and a lifelong resident. Elgin City Councilman Steve Thorne, running for re-election, is a name you know and a leader you can trust. His pledge is to maintain secure neighborhoods by continuing to support Elgin's police officers and firefighters. And Steve will work, like always, to protect your tax dollar. He's accessible and accountable. He's a friend, my friend, and your friend on the Elgin City Council. He's one of us for all of us. I'm asking that you vote to re-elect Steve Thorne to the Elgin City Council.
Paid for by Friends of Steve Thorne.
This is Sarah Silver with your Fox Valley forecast. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 28. Temperatures rising to around 30 overnight. Gusty winds up to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow, a slight chance of rain showers after 4 p.m. Partly sunny with a high near 44. Gusty winds up to 25 miles per hour. Currently, it is 45 with clear skies. I'm Sarah Silver on the Talk of the Town, WRMN.
Listen up, fellow Gen Xers. Elizabeth Banks here.
The recommended age for pneumococcal pneumonia vaccination has been lowered to 50 and older, even if you're healthy. It's up to us to lead the way. We've done this before. Music videos, fanny packs, even the World Wide Web. Let's do it again and get vaccinated, because we're at over 6 times greater risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Gen X, this is our shot. Visit vaxassist.com and schedule a vaccine today. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Welcome back to A Political Talk Show here on WRMN. That's WRMN 1410 on the AM dial and WRMN.com. For those of you that are interested in the digital delving of the archives for everything that we've got going on that side of the world, you can also jump on YouTube. YouTube's got probably 95% of everything we do out there in the world as far as creating content, whether that's on the AM dial or we just live stream it without the AM dial, like when the White Sox are playing or anything like that. We've got Ken Broderly here with me today to talk a little bit about Kane County election, but from the Elgin side of things, because, you know, politics is local, and I live in Elgin. So that's what we're going to be talking about here. Directly from the Kane County Clerk's office, voters on Election Day can vote at any polling place. It used to be you went to the Gail Borden Library or a few places were for everybody. But now you can go to any polling place and bring your voter.
That's important to know. So if they pull a sample ballot, for example, from the clerk, Kane County elections sample ballot, it might say April 1st, a polling place.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one does not need to adhere to that. They can go to any polling place anywhere in Kane County on Election Day, and their vote will count.
Oh, and there is plenty of them. Obviously, the Gail Borden Library is still one of them. You can also head down to the American Legion, Post 57, Elgin Community College, New Life Covenant, Greater Grace Community Church. Let's see here, Evangelical Free Church. We've also got the Highland Avenue Church of the Brethren. We have the Village of South Elgin Public Services. That's over on Bowes. Just on that south side there. Northwest Bible Baptist Church as well. First Presbyterian Church of Elgin. Highland Avenue, again, has that Church of the Brethren. So, First Presbyterian Church, I think, is one I haven't said. But
don't forget the Elgin Township building.
Yeah, the Township building will also be open for it as well. And it's real quick. The new machines are fantastic. You're able to just touch screen everything. You get your paper ballot to make sure that they can hand count everything if they need to. But you run it through the scanner and Bob's your uncle, right?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. When depending on the individual race, if you will, position, elected office, there might be several candidates. So one has to be conscious to scroll down on the screen. And let's say you forget to scroll down to see all the candidates and you hit next to go to the next page, it will not allow you to advance the next page until you scroll down so no one could be missed.
That's great. Because usually you think about the computer systems, and if you're like, okay, well, I need the large font.
Yeah,
or maybe you're only giving me 3 names.
Yeah, extra large, half a name.
To make, yeah, exactly, with a hyphen in it to make sure, hey, the honkers log over there, somebody else jumped in on it. Yeah, I absolutely understand that because you also don't want to be unfair to anybody as well, because a lot of it's the luck of the draw.
Sure.
They randomize the order, but they keep the same order for every single one of them.
Well, what I learned, I can't believe I've lived this long. about 2 years ago or a year ago, somebody said, you don't, if it says vote for 4 or vote for 3, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You could just vote for 1. And it's really important, if you really do not know anything about the candidates, maybe you should not vote, because you could be inadvertently putting someone in a decision-making position that you may not agree with. You could get lucky and get somebody in there that does, think like you do and do what you want them to do. But it's very risky to just close your eyes and pick names.
That's why I was going to change my name to Candidate Best. That way, when I show up on the voting side, it's Best Candidate, and just
like at Best Buy. Why go anywhere else? You get the Best Buy there, or
Exactly.
discount it says it's a discount.
Exactly. Change my name to Best Candidate Ever.
I went into a Discount Liquor. There's so many of them. They have the name Discount Liquor. I was buying a present for someone else. Certainly it wasn't for me. And after I made the purchase, I was thinking, I don't know if that was really a discount.
It was a discount from what they wanted to charge you.
Yeah, Candidate Best is a good idea.
That way they know right off the bat who to vote for, or vote for me. I'm going to change my name.
There you go. Or click here.
Next. Click here. Yes, click here to vote.
Click last name here. Really
That'd be amazing.
Idea.
How to vote? Well, you're going to use the Verify Duo system. The interactive demonstration can be found again on the Kane County Clerk's office. Clerk Cunningham does a fantastic job maintaining that website there. That's clerk2.kanecountyil.gov. And you can find all of the different things that are there. In fact, let me go ahead and show you what that looks like here on YouTube. When you go to the home page or go to the elections page, you're able to go and look at the polling places right at the top. You'll also have a sample ballot. When you do that, you'll put in your address, and it will give you that sample ballot of what will be on your ballot at the time.
Well, that's a really, sorry to interrupt you. That's important because, like, if you're in Elgin Township, you could be, if you live in one area, you have U46 school board people. If you live in another area, you could have 301 school board people. So it's a good idea to check that sample ballot so you know who to look at before you go to the polls.
It's true. It's like going to the test and you're going over the revolution, but it's the French Revolution. And you're going, oh my gosh, I studied the other wrong.
Did that happen to you too?
You can find the election results. You can also look at just the election, just information. This gives you the results, the candidate list. You can also look at the petitions for candidates or even the write-in candidates from there. So if you're really interested, you want to be a political wonk like the rest of us, you go ahead and go to clerk2.kanecountyil.gov. You'll be able to find the election results and also the election day polling places that are there. Do you know your polling place by heart? Because I know I just go to the library.
No, I saw it on my sample ballot. I'm like, where is that place? But I do know I could go to Elgin Township to vote.
Absolutely.
I can find that. I might know where that is.
Yeah, well, you might know where the...
I might have been there once or twice.
Where is that? Where is the township building?
The township is on McLean Boulevard on the west side, and the specific address is 729 South McLean Boulevard. And there's a lot of campaign signs in front of it, and we have a brand new, beautiful marquee there now. And there's another thing. I guess I have and that's right across from ECC old golf course and adjacent to the current golf course. So right before College Green Drive.
So you could go down there and vote and register. What other things can you do over at the township building?
Well, we have the assessor's office there. You can check on your assessments if you are qualified for a tax freeze or tax discount. If everybody who owns, if they live in the home they own, they should have a owner homestead, a homeowner's exemption to get it lower. And we have the highway commissioner, the road district. We have batteries, household batteries recycle. So instead of throwing those in their garbage can, we try to make an effort to keep those out of landfills and have that. We have United States or any kind of flag, but the American flag drop, where if you want to dispose of an old American flag, we have that there. And it is a beautiful thing. I should have you help me with that. I tried to make a video of the ceremony and how we properly retire American flag, and it involves the Marine does a ceremony, and they burn the flag, but it's amazing. And we have general assistance, rent assistance. We have the senior programs. We youth programs. We got so many things going on. It's amazing.
It's something that you should definitely make an effort to take a visit to.
I
right?
think, Dean DeLady, you know him, right?
Yeah, I met him once or twice.
You might have met him. He was there. I think he drove somebody to vote, and while he was waiting, he was very. It was a awakening for him to see all the different programs just that was out on the table, and that's where he asked me to come and talk to you today. So
yeah, absolutely, because there's so many different things that are there at the township building. So let's talk about the township in general. We're going to
lending closet. I could just.
Oh, okay.
We could be here an hour.
I'll have to go over there.
I'll make a list. You could put it on the screen. I'll be prepared.
Okay, I'll take that. I might just head on down there with a camera and a microphone and just see what's happening. But let's talk a little bit about the township in general. After this election, there is going to be somebody that's in the position. But the township's still going to be the same, and the projects that are going to be moving towards still need to be done. Are there certain projects that, whether it's you or anybody else, that are going to be completed in the next term?
Well, that's a big question. So the townships have their power from statute. A township can only do what the statute tells them to do. For example, in my real estate business, if it does not say you can't, then you can. Well, it's just the opposite in township. You have to look in the statute and see where the statute tells you can. So if it doesn't say you can, then you can't. So that was a quantum shift for me because I'm very creative and high energy, and I'd go after Moby Dick and bring the tartar sauce, as Zig Ziglar would say. So we've done so many projects. We've got a lot of things going, and we have. If I were to be reelected, we will expand the Senior Access Pass program. Let me go back. The township statute has to do general assistance, and it has to do assessment of properties, and it has to take care of the unincorporated highway, roads, bridges, and ditches. It does not really have to do anything after that. So there's a lot of creativity for who's in charge at the helm. And on one hand, the staffs never worked so hard in their life. So maybe they'll say, let's get rid of Brutally because maybe these programs will go away. But on the other hand, they get so busy, they walk in at 8 o'clock and they can't believe it's 4 o'clock already for them. And I work way beyond that often, just for the township, not to mention meetings and different things. So did I answer that question?
Yeah, it sounds like a fantastic place to get a lot of information about the township and also some of the things that that the township and the trustees are doing. What's the difference between being a supervisor and being a trustee or any other member of the township?
This is a good question. So the mayor, the city has a mayor and council people. The village has a president and trustees. So in a township, those are the board. There's 4 trustees, and there's a supervisor. Those are all voting members. So I have 1 vote.
Okay.
A trustee has 1 vote. The clerk is also an elected, but the clerk does not vote. So there's 4 trustees and a supervisor who votes. The supervisor is the chair of that township board of trustees. And at one time, the trustees were called auditors because I am the CEO, but I cannot pay any bills or pay anybody without the trustees looking over everything and making sure it's all good. And they have to agree that we should pay that particular service or vendor or whatever it is, electric bill. and they look those over. So they're like auditors. And then it's a group decision. The clerk, the only time the clerk can vote, let's say we had a trustee step down. Like, actually, my opponent was a trustee once, and he ran for county board, and he won. So he resigned as a township clerk, or excuse me, township trustee. In that case, the supervisor and with the advice and counsel of the trustees, the board, would appoint somebody else. Well, let's say there was a tie. Let's say we were trying to appoint you and somebody else. Then the statute says at that time the clerk can vote to break a tie in an appointment.
So it's kind of like the president of the Senate, the vice president, only gets to vote when there's a tie.
Yeah, somebody thought this through.
That's good. Well, you know what? It's compounded democracies on top of each other. It's 3 democracies in a trench coat.
This rule we're talking about is called Dillon's rule.
Okay.
Where you can only do what the statute says you can do. And I find that person, Dillon, is from Iowa. And what's fascinated me from the beginning as I was learning all this, Iowa doesn't even have townships. There's not all states have townships. Illinois is one of them that has townships.
Yeah, and I think that contributes to how so many jurisdictions there are in Illinois. You're not only in the city,
the county.
You're also the township, and then the county, and then the state, and then the whole bunch of the different sides to it.
So
but
you would think there'd be overlap or duplication of services, but they're really, everybody knows what lane they're in, and so together they complement each other and provide a great community to live and work.
And that's the way to do it, is all helping each other for that same kind of connection. Make sure you get out and vote tomorrow. Today's the last day for early voting. I do believe polls are going to close here in the next couple of minutes. So tomorrow, polls open at 6 a.m. They will close again at 7, all in Central Time for those of you international listeners that are out there. Yeah, I know, all 7 of you. But we appreciate you coming in, Ken.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a great eye-opening experience to see not only where your vision is for the township, but also what the township is already doing. It's something. It's kind of like an unsung hero that I hope WRMN can start cheerleading the township a little more.
We'd love to have you be aware. When I was seated, the goal was awareness and relevance. And we've been working on that ever since.
Absolutely. Where can people find more information about you, sir?
That's a good question. For township business at the township, of course. I am posting some things on Facebook if they want to learn more about me and my campaign.
That's Ken Brutally, B-R-U-D-R-E. I'm sorry, E-R-L-E. B-R-U-D-E-R-L-E. Ken Brutally.
Brutally. Yeah, and again, if you feel that I've done a good job and you'd like to have me continue to serve you, I'd certainly be very appreciative of your vote. I hope I don't get fired tomorrow, but we'll see, right?
Well, just like I was talking with Mr. Dixon about, is I think the title is nice. It helps you get more things done, but a community leader is a community leader. They're gonna shine regardless.
Yeah, and my big campaign speech was, "Hey, I'd like to get reelected, but if I don't, I'll see you later. It was nice knowing you." Because I'll have to work. I'll have to go to work and work harder, you know.
Exactly. You'll see him at the grocery store more than you'll see him at the.
You see me in the food line.
But I appreciate you being here with everything and enlightening us a little bit more about everything.
My pleasure.
Everybody wait around, and when we come back, I will run down real quick some of the polling places and some of the things that you might need to take with you when you do go to vote, because you may have to register the same day for that grace period for it too. Early voting stops today, but go ahead and jump in to voting tomorrow. And again, I'll remind you, all polling places, you can vote at all polling places, regardless on if that's your polling place or not. WRMN will be right back after this.
This is Mark Smith, and I am running for Elgin City Council. I am a proud 22-year veteran of the United States Army, former Elgin police officer, past Elgin Image Advisory Commission member, past president of the Elgin Patriotic Memorial Association, current commander of the largest local veterans organization, and a newly appointed member of the Elgin Civilian Police Review Board. If you are concerned about the direction of our city or the representation you have been receiving from your current council members, I humbly ask for your vote on April 1st. I will be your council member who asks tough questions, solves problems, protects our finances, and listens to the concerns and needs of the members of our community. My main focus will be economic growth, community development, collaborations, and transparency and accountability. The time for change is now, and I humbly ask for your support, your trust, and your partnership as together we can build a strong and vibrant future for Elgin. Please vote Smith for Elgin City Council. Paid for by Mark Smith for Elgin City Council.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the Better Business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Ready to tackle your junk piles? Call the Junk Luggers. From old furniture to entire cleanouts, we do the heavy lifting. And here's the best part. We rehome and recycle as much as possible to keep it all out of landfills. Feel good about your cleanout the green way. Call 1-800-LUG-JUNK or visit junkluggers.com today for your eco-friendly, stress-free service.
Is diabetes keeping you from enjoying life's special moments? At US Med, we understand the challenges you face, and we're here to help.
With US Med, I can finally manage my diabetes without it managing me.
US Med offers a wide range of services to simplify your diabetes care. Personalized care plans, convenient access to cutting-edge diabetes tech, and knowledgeable support. Plus, we'll check your insurance so your diabetes care may be covered at little or no cost to you.
With US Med, I feel confident and control of my diabetes. I can finally live my life to the fullest.
Don't let diabetes hold you back. Choose US Med and experience better birthdays, better adventures, better anniversaries, and better everything. Call now. US Med. Better service. Better care. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. 800-785-1673. That's 800-785-1673.
Welcome back. The last couple minutes of a political talk show here on WRMN. I want to just run down some of the things that you might want to take with you just in case. If you do have your voter registration card, I think you could just take that and maybe your ID with you to be safe. But if you do have some issues with your registration, according to 10 ILCS 5/4-10, you can bring the driver's license or state identification card, your social security card, public aid identification card, current utility bill, employee identification card, student identification card, lease or contract for residence, credit card, civic membership card, union membership card, or professional association membership card. Those are the things that you can bring because you need to bring forms of identification if you do need to register. So do everything you can, come out with a voting plan, and you'll be able to execute that thing. Don't forget that you can go over to the Elgin Township building. That's a great place to go and vote as well. It's over there on McLean Boulevard. I've driven past it. You've driven past it. It's the one with all the cool signs in front of it. We'll see you tomorrow for a political talk show and more.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson representing a team of lawyers who help people that have been injured or wronged. If you've been involved in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or injured at work, you have rights, and you may be entitled to money for your suffering. Don't accept an offer you get from an insurance company until you talk to a lawyer. And we represent some of the best personal injury lawyers you can find. Tough lawyers that will fight to win your case. And they're so good they stake their reputation on it by only getting paid if you win. So if you've been in a serious car, truck, or motorcycle accident or hurt on the job, find out today for free what kind of compensation you may be entitled to. Call the legal helpline right now.
800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. 800-257-3148. That's 800-257-3148.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 6 o'clock.
This is WRMN News.
Hello, I'm Dennis Green. A powerful earthquake followed by a strong aftershock has rocked Thailand and neighboring Myanmar. News Nation's Nick Smith reports so far at least 3 people have been killed while others remain trapped in the rubble.
The first quake, a 7.7 magnitude, struck Myanmar in the city of Mandalay. That's a religious and cultural capital. Then 12 minutes later, a 6.4 magnitude quake hit just a few miles away.